Hi, and welcome to the F5 DNS Resources video. Now, before we get started with the real meat of the course, I wanted to share all the resources that I know could benefit you in learning about the BIG IP DNS platform. Now, these are all supplemental material. This course will obviously cover as much in-depth detail as possible, but I believe it's always good to provide supplemental material for hands-on labs you can do on your own, or access to information about new features, and the ability to know where to go if you want to look a topic up in detail. So I'll provide links to all the resources covered in this video on the INE online course page, so you can use that as a reference going forward with your studies. Alright, so first things first, to talk about the best user community out there for networking products. It's the F5 Dev Central community, and what I really like about Dev Central is just the level of experience that and the skill set that engineers have to offer. Let's take a look at that resource real quick. So this is devcentral.f5.com, and if you don't have a link, if you don't have a sign up, you can click the top right link, sign up page. Sign up is free, and if you're new to Dev Central, maybe you want to understand the inner workings of who maintains it and what's the best way to utilize it. Well, there's this really nice link that explains just that. Take the tour. You can see the solutions on the left or the specific technologies you're interested in. So let's check out BIG IP DNS. So you can see the latest articles released by F5 employees, and the best thing, in my opinion, well, there's great things about Dev Central in general, but one of the best, I should say, is the answers section. Here's you can post a question, and experts in the field who have maybe seen this or just have a really good heart, right? They give back, right? So they answer some of your questions. Here you can see the most recent ones that are happening now, the most voted, and the unanswered, right? So these are questions that need to be answered by you. All right, as you take this course, you can give back to the community and help out as well. It's just a great way for smart engineers to collaborate, and F5 has done a great job of building this out. All right, so let's talk about one of the next resources is an F5 University web course. It's 60 minutes. This is something that maybe you can pass along to a colleague that maybe doesn't have access to this video. It's just a basic understanding of BIG IP DNS, and it is out there as a resource. Alright, so let's talk about F5 certification, the policies and the program details. So first things first, to get started, you go to certification.f5.com. Once your accounts are created and activated, you'll receive another email for signing up for Pearson VUE system. So if you're not great at taking exams, well, F5 has a nice option for practicing the exams in some of the topics surrounding. It's not the same questions that'll be used, but this gives you an understanding of the flow. So practice exams are pretty affordable to take if you're interested in that. So you can understand the retake policy if you're interested in that, the rescheduling of exams, and it's a great resource if you haven't gotten F5 certified before, just understanding the very start of the certification process. Alright, so now let's take a look at some of the study materials that F5 themselves actually offer. So that first link was exams and study materials. F5 has done a great job of consolidating this data and you can actually click on these hyperlinks to get the respective blueprint or study guide for that technology. Some of this information may have been from a previous exam, such as DNS for the GTM. Over time, I imagine this is going to be well updated. So this is, again, another resource, and very nice that it's consolidated in one table. All right, so the DNS Specialist Blueprint you can actually get to by clicking the blueprint right here. I have the link to the right section here. So this obviously will go through in depth throughout the course, because it's one of the main reasons for the course is the approach on the DNS exam. So we'll of course be covering these 4 sections in detail, but that link is there if you need to reference it yourself or stay up to date with what the exam blueprint is currently, because obviously a lot of the concepts are going to apply for future releases. All right, and next is the study guide. The study guide, you can click on this link here or go to this direct link that I provided in the course. This is a study guide produced by Eric Mitchell, who's a channel SC for the East US, and he's done this and built this based off the previous exam of GTM. So it's still got some great core concepts and links to some of the KB articles if you're interested in that. All right, so to really get hands-on, F5 has done a great job again at providing just recently a GitHub repository for the labs, classes that are going through agility, or even labs outside of agility. So let's take a look at that. So this is the F5 GitHub repository, and you can see some of the new classes and new releases based off version 13 and 14. Well, let's jump down to DNS. So we're focused on that. There's 4 great classes you can download or just go through the HTML content online, and so that's an option as well. All right, there also is a F5 authorized training course. It's provided by F5 or respective authorized training companies for F5 that will produce a 2-day course. It's about $1,900, and this covers all the up-to-date topics on DNS. Okay, so I've listed out 5 of the key Ask F5 resources for the version 13 train. A lot of these overlap with some of the 12 and the 14, so you'll see some of those links. Little things are updated over time, right? But this is some of the key concepts that we'll be going through throughout this course, so these links will be referenced in the course page as well. All right, who doesn't love to read? This is additional printed references. If you're into ebooks, you can use SafariOnlineBooks.com. It's a subscription model, or you could just get these off Amazon, a hard copy. But you'll see these 2 books referenced a lot throughout some of the F5 solution articles. Specifically the DNS and Bind 5th edition by O'Reilly, and this really just includes some of the why DNS was implemented, or some of the challenges, and what were some of the architecting options for DNS and Bind. So great material to go through if you're interested in that. Speaking of Bind, F5 version 12 runs 999p3 release. If you're curious, version 14 runs 9911p1 release. So they're all on the 9.9 train. And what's great about Bind is that, well, really it's a open standard, so you can download the reference manual, which is a really good link. And let's jump to that a second. So you can get this from isc.org, download/bind. And let's look at some of the concepts just briefly. We've got some advanced DNS features like explaining zone transfers, split DNS configuration. You also got the DNSSEC and automatic signing. So this goes into Bind specifically, where maybe you have just a crazy advanced DNS implementation that you'd like to use on the F5 platform. Well, you can actually take some of these advanced options. Most of them would be in Zone Runner GUI, but you can take the actual advanced options, maybe implement them and restart the ZRD process to gain the benefit of some of these features. Nonetheless, it's a really great resource to understand what Bind is doing in the background. So on a conference you can mark down in your calendar every year is the F5 Agility Conference. And what this is a I think it's about 3-4 days long, annually about during the time of July and August, but it includes breakout sessions and labs that you just saw access. You can actually run through the labs right there in scheduled sessions. And another benefit is you can take the exams for free for going to Agility. So another great benefit, a great content, and mark it on your calendar so you can make that. Another resource is the LinkedIn community, and this is a really great community. It's actually pretty much headed by Ken Salko, which is the Senior Program Manager for F5 Professional Certification, and his team does a great job answering the concerns in the community and the questions that you have. And they've also done a really great job of revamping the certification track from what it once was. Because when you pass an F5 exam today, you know your stuff, because you have to be very, very quick, and it's not just simple multiple choice questions. It's actually content that you'll see in the real world examples, diagrams and things you have to decipher and understand very quickly. So they've done a great job of revamping that track. Last on this slide is talking about taking the test at a local Pearson VUE. Right, you can find the closest Pearson VUE to you. The cost is today it's $135, and you again can start the process at certification.f5.com. All right, if you are a partner with F5, a Unity partner, you can get access to additional material. So this allows you to get access to sales and technical webinars that F5 themselves have done. You also can get access to the Partner VLab package. And what this is a VLab you can download on your local machine and run things like the F5 editions on version 13, 14, etc. with LAMP and Windows servers to simulate and test some of the F5 features. Just make sure that when you're creating your account with partners.f5.com, you use the same email address as support.f5.com, so you'll have access through support.f5.com to download the VLab package. The last thing is the Strongbox licensing, and this has been around for quite a while. A great add-on is the ability to generate 30 to 45 day evals on your own, and you can generate up to 24 per year. So this gives you enough licenses to test and keep relicensing your system if you want to utilize that. Okay, and the last resource I'll talk about is Wireshark F5 ETH Dissector. Now they've come a long ways in this, and what's really great now is that instead of waiting for a plugin to be released or building your own plugin for F5 ETH data, it is now natively built into Wireshark. All you have to do is go to Wireshark, analyze, enable protocols, and check the F5 ETH dissector. So what this does is it allows what's called high noise data or additional data you can capture using some flags in the TCP dump that we'll go into. These first four are just an example, but they deal with the F5 to server-side connection. And what's really great is that you can now see the name of either the VIP or the listener, and you can apply that as a column in Wireshark to be able to filter based off a name, which is really cool, and it helps a lot when troubleshooting items that are maybe redirecting to different VIP or things like that. These last two are just they're more troubleshooting tools to diagnose network issues, and we'll maybe jump into that in a future video. Alright, so in summary, we've talked about an overview of all the various options you have to learn about the F5 DNS platform, and I hope it prepares you to either practice or maybe identify your path or paths when studying and training for the DNS platform or taking the exam. So I had a lot of fun with this course, and I'll see you in the next one.